actually behind Donald Trump in the bleachers today when this all unfolded. I'm going to let.
All right, guys. So this is breaking news from CNN, and first and foremost, I want to say there's no support for this kind of act. I'm not going to say necessarily that this is what it was. Obviously, I said that it was an assassination. Well, it was a question. It was a question. Was there an assassination attempt on President Trump's life? And we don't tolerate this in no way, shape, or form. If we are supposed to be the conservatives and, we're supposed certain kind of things, certain kind of decency in life, we're supposed to promote, then obviously, we're not going to promote any kind of violence, whether it be pertaining to people of other political beliefs or religious belief or whatever the case might be. People can say whatever they want. It's a free country. You can absolutely say whatever you want. But in terms of acting out, unless your life is in full danger, there's no promotion of violence on this channel whatsoever. And it's just pitiful what we're seeing today as an attempt has been made on the life of, or what we supposedly think is an attempt made on the life of Donald J. Trump, our former president. And like I said, I wouldn't want to see this happen to anybody. And I've seen comments all over the internet where people are saying, okay, this is what he deserves and this is what how can you say that? A lot of the things that were proposed about Donald Trump, how he was in bed with Russia with the elections, and how he's a racist, and yet still he's a racist. But you can't find anything racism about him on the internet. You can find more racist stuff about Joe Biden than you can find about Donald Trump. If you want to be honest, he's more pro-black than Joe Biden has ever been. He's been more involved in the black community, and he said more positive things about black folks coming up during his time as a young billionaire until now than Joe Biden ever did. He's probably done more for the African American community than Barack Obama. All right, let's not go there. But what happened today is a stain on the United States. And I'm pretty sure other countries are looking in and saying, "Oh my God, like this is the new low that they have to go to win the election." Now, it's now when we hear President Trump say all the time that the election was rigged, this is probably what he meant. Like, they will do anything to hold on to that power. And it's not like they're doing all these great things right now. Gas prices are high, food prices are high. When the banking system was crashing, the government helped them out. When people can't pay their mortgages, their rent, their whatever, banks don't help you out. Be late on your mortgage once or twice, they add it back on the total of your mortgage. So if you owed 150,000 and you're late on your mortgage, say for 4 or 5 months, guess what? They're gonna add that up and put it on the total value. So if you owed 150 and you say you didn't pay your mortgage for 5 months, and that add up to be 15,000, they're gonna add that 15,000 to 150, and that 15,000 you're gonna take an additional 5 years paying that off. They got bailed out, but they'll never bail out the little guy. And this is just how it seems like they want to stay in power to do that kind of things. And I just don't understand how people vote Democratic. It's like I can't get it. But let's get into the video.
Him share exactly what he saw. It was a very harrowing moment that he was there for. Can you please tell us what happened, Joseph?
Yeah, it was the Trump. I was attending the rally. It seemed initially like firecrackers went off. It was very confusing initially because I knew it was gunfire, but I couldn't quite tell where it was coming from. It sounded like it was coming from behind the bleachers, and the man in the bleachers, kind of to the right of me in the bleachers, took a gunshot wound to the head. Was killed. And another woman, I don't know exactly where she was in the bleachers. I think she was either behind me or to the right of me, and she got around in the.
Now, why would Trump supporters go to Israel to do arm at Israel? Let's just get that out of the way. So that makes no sense, obviously. So this would have to be an anti-Trump supporter. And if somebody wanted to kill somebody that had nothing to do with the election and Donald Trump, why would they do it at a rally where they're more likely to be caught? So the point I'm trying to make is this must have been orchestrated. And I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but what other conclusions are there to jump to? Why would you try to go kill somebody if it wasn't the president at the president's rally when this is right up next to, you know, the primaries, when we can see what Joe Biden is becoming right in front of our eyes? Even the Democratic Party, all the elites in the Democratic Party, they don't want Joe Biden there. It's all over the news. This is not assumptions or presumptions. This is facts. They're holding meetings to say, hey, Joe, you need to get out of there. You're hurting us. And if Joe is saying, I don't think so, buddy, I'm not going anywhere, because his son, Hunter Biden, wants a protection from his dad. So he's urging his dad to stay in there because he knows once his dad is gone, he knows everything's going to come down upon him. That's why his trial was so short. Let's keep him out. Let's find him guilty, get him out of the news, get him. Nobody talks about it. You know how nobody talks about his trial? It lasted 1 week and was over. That's how unfair it is. Okay? That's how, look how they dragged out Donald Trump's trial. Months, years. By Hunter Biden, 1 week. Decision made. Guilty. Under the rug. We all know he's not going to serve no time. You know what I mean? And here we are. This is just crazy to me.
She got hit in the forearm and hand.
And the point I'm making is Joe Biden says he's not stepping down. Jill Biden says she don't want him to step down. His son doesn't want him to step down. So what is that? What's the next best thing to do? Since all, I don't want to be disrespectful. Since the president says he's not stepping down, so what's the next best thing to do? Maybe take out the opposition. That's the only way they can win the election. And I have a very valid point to make at the end of this, at the end of this video. But let's just watch.
She was wounded. She wasn't killed.
Can I ask you how
you see how gangster my president is? Hands up. He's not running. He's not hiding. That's the kind of leadership we need. That's the kind of leadership we need.
You know, it's a bolt out of the blue, so it's very shocking. It's just, I think a lot of people in the crowd just thought it was fireworks going off. I knew immediately it was gunshots. I knew they were close, and then when I saw someone get hit and go down, that's when I knew it was probably serious.
It's a shame.
Aramoto is cool, but I feel like it's too expensive. Listen up, you quarter-digging pump feeders.
You know, it was a lot of confusion. It's just massive confusion, you know, throughout the event. I saw Donald Trump get hit. It looked like he was either, I was running my camera.
The guy's clearly shaken up.
He was just he was turning his head to the side. It looked like he got grazed in the right ear with a bullet. I kind of saw that go on, and then I looked down, I saw the man, you know, died.
And props goes out to the Secret Service guys, man. They ran on that stage so quickly. You can see them putting their hands up, and you can see the blood down his face. His reaction was like, you know, he didn't really see it coming. It's like, you know, if you talk to a lot of people that gotten shot, a lot of times they'll say, I didn't realize that I got shot until I felt like, you know, water down my face or this wet feeling. You can see, you know, Donald Trump, he looked like, you can see when it looked like he got shot and he kind of grazed, you know, and then he fell to the ground. And my man was like, yo, let me back up. You know, I thought my president was going to take out his beloved 1911.
Bleachers.
Secret Service did a good job, man.
Like
my man's got his hand up.
Delay, like there was a lot of confusion, but immediately, you know, it seemed like more gunfire erupted. I couldn't figure out where that was coming
from. Putting the power sign up, still going.
State policeman there.
Look at the president.
You know, showed up relatively
hands
quickly.
Are up.
To the side. There's a fence, you know, was next to the bleachers. They jumped the bleachers and started clearing the bleachers. And then I helped carry the body of the man down out of the bleachers, and they took him to Attenmpt. behind the bleachers. We put a towel over his head, but he's deceased.
And it's sad that somebody innocent went to support, you know, the party member that they wanted to vote for. They went out to support with his family, and and this person got shot. That shows you how insensitive the opposition is to our people. High gas prices, can't afford food, can't pay your bills, and then in the middle of a public street is like we're no better than third world countries. Trying to assassinate leaders just to move ahead, and yet still they make laws for people breaking the laws, and they do it every day in front of us. We should hold them to a higher standard. I mean, we do, but they don't hold themselves to that high of a standard. They flaunt the law wherever they want to. They use it to their advantage. I mean, yes, we all know that the elites is what they've done, but come on, this blatantly, this late in the election, you see that you can't beat him, so what, you want to take him out? Literally? Makes no sense. Look at the election. Look at this trial. Nobody was hurt. Nobody lost any money. Everybody that they say he owed money or, you know, was at a disadvantage, they say nope, he paid back all his loan and he was still on trial for that. And its popularity grew even more. And people said, hey, yo, okay, enough is enough. Let the man run a race and let it be fair. They can't do that.
You were telling me before when we were chatting briefly that you never had a chance to make it to a Trump rally, that this was your first time. Would you feel safe coming back to another Trump rally?
Yeah, it's a very random event that happens. I feel safe generally where I go in the country. I think the problem is we have everyone seems very angry, and it makes you kind of I'll go to a Trump rally again, but I'll think twice.
You can tell my man is very shaken up, but I'm telling you guys, after this, you're going to see Trump's ratings skyrocket. It's not going to help the Democratic Party. It's not going to. And I'm pretty sure there's time in history when there's been an assassination, and yes, they might have killed that person from that party, but somebody else stepped into his shoes and won. So how does these people think that killing him is going to help their cause? Do they think that it's going to make them more popular? Makes no sense to me. They would just create a martyr out of him. And whoever steps into his shoes is just gonna ride that martyrdom and become president. And they're still gonna lose. Everything that they've tried so far is backfired on them. And they're still trying unsuccessfully. So why are they still trying? These are the elites of our country. These are the people that make laws for you and me. And it don't seem like they're getting it right. Even in doing evil, it doesn't seem like they're getting it right.
You definitely want to have your head up.
Evil never
like
wins.
Angry people out there, and I'm not shocked.
Not in the long run.
I'm shocked that I was sitting there and it happened next to me. Obviously, you never anticipate that to happen, but
the devil knows he'll never win.
It's just horrible.
No matter how hard he tries.
We shouldn't be at a level of political discourse in this country where this is going on. It feels like it's 1968.
Yes, I agree.
It's horrible. It's
backwards.
Can you describe for me, Joseph, what happened after you saw the shots? And I was there as well. Secret Service was screaming for everyone to get down. They quickly tried to clear the area.
And look at the Trump supporters. They're not moving.
I'm just curious.
They're there. They're like, yo, what's going on? They want to see.
Very confusing. Like I said, I think everyone who was in the bleachers knew. It was initially confusing when the gunshots erupted. I think the crowd thought it was fireworks.
Secret Service wrapped him up real quick.
And the people were close to the people that got
you can
injured
see
killed.
The president saying,
it
F
seemed like
it,
there was
F
a push
it.
pull in the crowd, and that is one half of the crowd on the far end.
You can see the blood on his ears.
Some type of weird joke. The other half of the crowd knew it wasn't.
And everybody's
push or impress upon the rest of the crowd.
Cheering.
Serious. And I think everyone got the idea very quickly that it was a dangerous situation, and everyone just started hitting the deck. And
nobody left though.
Kudos to the Secret Service. Again, when you're in these situations, a second feels like it's an hour, but it seemed like authorities were there very quickly. It just seemed to me, like I said, I was sitting there, it seemed like the rounds came from behind, and they got this, they hit the gentleman in the head. You know, he got a gunshot wound to the head, and the other lady was injured, and then I saw President Trump, get hit, and it looked like his right ear, but...
Guys, I couldn't imagine waking up to the news to hear that former President Trump died. Like, that would just be so devastating, man. Like, it would, man.
It seemed initially everyone was in, like, half the crowd was in shock, and the other half thought it was some type of weird joke. And it just, it took a bit for everyone to get a good understanding of what was going on.
Do you know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? It turns out if you live in Florida, they have to give you solar panels.
So,
You mentioned that you had spoken with the person who ended up falling, I believe you said, or he's with his whole family?
no, his family watched it happen.
Wow.
So they were in the bleachers when he got hit and he went down.
No
I think
way.
they were trying to figure out what was going on. They were screaming for help. The body was, they put a towel over the man's head. The body was removed from the bleachers. Then the police came back right after and tried to move the family, but they were all in shock. They weren't processing what was going on. Mm-hmm. The man was definitely, he was dead the minute he was hit.
Wow.
I mean, it was something that reminded me of the Zapruder film from Kennedy. I mean,
wow.
it was his head snapped, and that was it. And I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and then there was just pandemonium.
Can you imagine sitting next to that person that killed?
Pennsylvania, you're out in rural Pennsylvania, you don't really anticipate this is going to happen, but it happened.
And guys, how many times have we seen the video of, Kennedy getting killed where he got hit and his wife was just scooping up his brain? Can you imagine what this family must feel, what they must be going through? They went to a rally to support their presidential candidate, and now they have to be preparing for a funeral, and, all the lives that have been touched by that gentleman just in chaos right now. His wife, his kids, his grandkids, friends, family, employees, employer. Just for what?
You mentioned, and I'm sorry, I know this is very emotional for you as well. You mentioned that, this was your first Trump rally. How are you feeling about the election now? What are you hoping to see moving forward? We've already seen a lot of
and the Secret Service
from across the aisle.
Man, they covered him up real quick.
From our sources that they say that
they got to do a better job at keeping his head down,
at a local facility being treated. But I would love just your view on. I know you came here today to support the man that, the former president. I'm curious how you think about this now. I know it's a hard question given the chaos that we're currently in and the adrenaline that we're both feeling right now. But if you could share any of that insight.
It solidifies my support. I understand. People believe that Trump's, well, they know he's bombastic. They don't really like him. He's a very polarizing figure. He has an abrasive personality, but I truly believe he has the best interests of the country at heart.
He does.
You make a point. The man's a billionaire. He could be sitting like you said, he was sitting at the rally joking about it. He's like, I could be sitting in the Mediterranean on a yacht enjoying my life, but I'm not. I'm trying to help run the country. It puts in perspective, there's a real cost for that. I mean, there's some people that really want him dead.
True.
And to me, this is just ridiculous. We have a lot of political violence in this country. It comes from it's not so much from right, it comes from everywhere. And it just needs to stop. JFK, RFK, you've had Martin Luther King. Now you're going to, attempt the life of Reagan, and now you have an attempted, assassination of Trump. It's just ridiculous. And
it is.
I don't think it's a gun problem. I don't think it's a violence problem.
Nope.
I think there's a lot of angry people that just have too much interest in politics, and it's a zero-sum game to them. Politics shouldn't be a zero-sum game where someone wins everything and someone loses everything. And I think this is a result of that. People came today, were very happy. They're here to support Trump. But you can when you talk to people in the crowd, there's a tenseness. They don't want to talk to family members about politics because it just gets too angry. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what to tell you, but this needs to stop.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
If you're turning 65 or beyond, you're going to want to watch this. There are a lot of people today that are Medicare eligible that are.
President Trump has been shot in a rally in Pennsylvania. The shooter.
All right, family. So that is pretty much going to be, that part of the video. And again, like the gentleman says, one of the main point that, like I just made, it's only going to solidify his stance in the election. He's not going to lose a single vote. And I don't know why they thought that doing this would have made him lose a vote. Maybe they were hoping to wake up tomorrow morning and the country be in pandemonium, and then they're like, got him. You know what I mean? But it did not. I think it's going to backfire. And I don't think that they're going to get another shot at this. No pun intended. But I really don't think that they're going to get another shot at doing this again. I think they're going to be very careful from now on, because now that this attempt has been made and it's unsuccessful, everything they do, I mean, I can't, to be honest with you, I can't even put it past them, because look at look at what they did in the courts. Look at Fannie Mae in Georgia. Fannie Willis, call her Fannie Mae. Look at Fannie Willis in Georgia and the trumped up case she's trying to pull against Donald Trump. Look at the judge in New York. Look at the case they're trying. The $1 million lawsuit they're trying to levy against him. An attempt on his life. You heard the man. He was joking at the rally that he's a billionaire. These last 8 years, when he was taking $150,000 as salary for president, he could have double, triple, quadruple that and made billions in investments. Remember, these men that are billionaires, they have the go-to how to make money. Everything that movers and shakers do, these set of people know. They know where to put their money. They know when to take their money. He could be making money, not losing money. So why would he do it? You think that he's so drunk for power that he's going to lose his money just to be the president of the United States and make what, $150,000 a year? He's been doing it for a reason, and the reason is the American people. I really and truly believe that. I don't think that the Democratic Party have the American people's interest at heart. They really don't. You can't. How can you? How can you look at things and say they are when they aren't? The prices of everything, how hard it is to pay your bills nowadays. They promise to reduce student loans, then they take it back. So many people I heard that say, "Oh man, they said they were going to reduce my loans." Then when I went back, they didn't. They lied. And then I hear Joe Biden saying, "Oh, if I serve another term, I'm going to do this." No, don't wait till another term. You've had 4 years. You could have done it. I hate when I hear politicians say, "Oh, in next term when I come back into power, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure this is right." Why didn't you make sure you made it right the first term you were there? There's 365 days. Even if you don't get things done, get things started and move it along. They don't do any of that. Once they get into power and they get their agendas, they get into it's just their personal agenda, not the people's agenda. And I just want to make one more quick point before I end the video. During the debate between Donald Trump and President Biden, one of the things that was very unsettling for me, and I don't know, I just want to challenge everyone who's watched this video. Go back to the debate close towards the end when they were talking, when Trump and Biden were going back and forth, and Biden was saying, "Oh, you're a crybaby. You cry about everything. You cry, cry, cry." And one of his last statement was this. He said, "What are you gonna do when you lose again?" And he didn't say it in a way like, "Okay, two guys are playing soccer, or what are you gonna do when we beat you again?" It wasn't like that. It was a more, "What are you gonna do when we win again?" He said it with such focus and clarity and belief that you want to think, does he know something that I don't know? That's just what hit me. And I don't know if a lot of people saw that or picked that up. But if you did, let me know what you think. And to me, that one statement he made, and he look at his facial features, look at his expression when he said it. What are you gonna do again when you lose again? He said it as if he knew something. Listen, I don't think that they tell Joe Biden everything, but certain things he does know. And I hear Kamala Harris, she'll say silly remarks like, oh, we're not worried, we're gonna win. How can you think you're gonna win an election when you're losing in almost every state? And you're not just losing by 1 or 2 points. Compared to prior election years, they're losing double digits. Almost like double what they were behind the previous year election. They're losing by that amount and some. How can they be so assured, so convinced, so certain that they're going to win the election again? To me, that says a lot without saying a lot. Guys, if you like the content I just made, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. Liking the video is free. If you like the video, it puts me in the algorithm, makes me more visible to a lot of people. If you want to see me do more contents like this, please let me know. Mr. Black Mamba 305, signing out.